be able to spend this time with you. I think also for PASCAL. So I think I keep saying this every Thursday, but I just want you to know that it is actually true. It is a great opportunity to be able to share some of the knowledge that we have come across over the years and continue to come across, because the field of nutrition and supplementation continues to grow, and new research is always being done to find out benefits and better ways in which to support ourselves through nutrition and lifestyle to avoid some of these illnesses that have been plaguing us. So from wherever you are joining us, whether you are here on our continent or further afield, I want to invite you to relax and take the next 1 hour with us. As in the first part, you will have seen from your invitation that we'll be going through the questions that you've sent us in the past fortnight. So without further ado, I want to start with the first question I have here. And this is what to recommend for ADHD, that is attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. So this is one of these conditions that have become, unfortunately, quite common in recent years, especially amongst children. It causes them to have quite a bit of struggle and end up under long-term medication, which is not really what we would like. So some of the lifestyle points that we recommend here will be to reduce sugar and junk food from the diet. Drastically, they do tend to worsen the condition. Some of the junk food have got additives that worsen ADHD. So try to opt for minimally processed foods. I know that some of the youngsters might not be enthusiastic about some of those foods, but the sooner we start with the healthier food options, the better. Also encourage them to incorporate sports. If they are still going to school, maybe they can take up some sports. And then also to get enough sun exposure, or you may need to add vitamin A plus D to their supplementation. So in this case, the age of a child was not indicated, but for age 13 and above, we'll recommend ProVitality, multimineral, and vitamin B complex. For children younger than that, we recommend Vita Squares, VitaGuard, and omega-3 plus minis. So if the child is around 10, 11 and is able to swallow bigger pills, maybe you can also maybe add some of the other supplements for older kids. This will depend very much on the size of the child. But those are the recommendations for ADHD. Do try to always incorporate the lifestyle measures, because remember, we call these illnesses lifestyle-related illnesses because they actually come from things in our lifestyle. Then the next question was what supplements to recommend for a child who is recovering from a bone reset operation. So here the age of the child was quite young. So we recommend Vita Squares, we recommend omega-3 plus minis, as well as Calmag, which this of course might not be easy for them to swallow, so it might be necessary to crush it and add it to their food. And you can also add their Neolife Shake to supplement their protein intake. It can be mixed with milk. If you are able to get raw milk, that is milk which is not pasteurized, it often is better tolerated than pasteurized milk. Of course, make sure you boil it and that it is hygienic. But raw milk, in parts of Africa, we are still able to get raw milk. Just make sure that you boil it well and store it carefully. And this will be a useful addition to children's nutrition, especially if the child does not have adverse reactions to cow's milk, because some children don't tolerate it very well. Then next was what to recommend for someone with an enlarged pancreas. Anytime we hear problems of this type, we immediately will think about issues to do with sugar metabolism. That is, our body is getting overwhelmed with glucose and carbohydrates in our diet. So the first thing in the lifestyle recommendation will be to eliminate refined carbohydrates and junk food from your diet. Junk food often also contains refined carbohydrates, as well as the seed oils, which are more and more becoming a source of problem for us. Opt for better quality options, healthier oils such as avocado oil, coconut oil, olive oil, if you're able to afford it, and so on. Then go for a 20-minute stroll after meals in order to help with insulin sensitivity. This will help the pancreas. And then the supplements that we recommend for an enlarged pancreas will be Botanical Balance, which supports our sugar metabolism very well, and so will support the pancreas. We also recommend either 3NN or Pro Vitality if the budget allows it, but at least get 3. And then we also recommend magnesium complex and fiber tablets. And of course, you can add dietary fiber to your diet. That is, when you eat less processed carbohydrates, for example, if you opt for things like arrowroot, yams, and so on, then keep them on the lower side. So because when you start having trouble with your pancreas, it means that you are becoming less tolerant to carbohydrates. So although you can eat the non-processed carbohydrates, you still need to keep the amount low, rather increase proteins and healthier fats in your diet, which will provide you a good replacement for the carbohydrates that you are now not eliminating. I know that proteins do tend to be more expensive than carbohydrates, but do your best with what you are obtained. So Botanical Balance, 3NN or Pro Vitality, and magnesium complex, as well as fiber tablets, which of course, if you increase the dietary fiber, you may not need to also have fiber tablets. Also, remember, when you're starting to have this type of issues, you need to avoid some of the very sweet fruits that we have. So you will have to avoid things like melons and pineapples and mangoes, because as I said in the previous session, they have been hybridized to be very, very sweet. And if your body is already becoming less tolerant to sugar and refined carbohydrates, then opt for less sweet fruits. So things like avocados, things like kiwi fruits, and so on will be a better option. Berries also tend to be less sweet and higher in fiber. Okay, then another frequent question that we get, products for weight loss. So as I think I've said often before, we don't have a specific product that is going to make you lose weight, because weight gain is a symptom that your body is overwhelmed by something you're putting in it. So the first thing is that you need to systematically eliminate lifestyle habits that lead to weight gain. And we know many of them, some of the foods that we eat, as I've just mentioned, in the case of enlarged pancreas. Do try to eliminate all kinds of refined carbohydrates from your diet and reduce your carbohydrate intake, improve the quality and reduce the quantity. At the same time, opt for healthier fats and examine whether you are moving adequately. Of course, when you're very overweight, then very, very heavy exercise might not be a good idea, because it can lead to joint problems and so on. So start with, if you have not been exercising and you put on quite a bit of weight, start with easier exercises such as walking, maybe swimming if the option is available for you. But don't go off a deep end and start doing things like boot camp and such like, because you will quickly give up and you can also hurt yourself. Then you can also look at your pitfalls. So different people have different pitfalls in terms of the way we eat. So it could be that the portion sizes need to be reduced, or it could be that we are in the habit of going for a second helping. Maybe we can avoid that. And then for some people, the pitfall can be snacking, or what is called grazing, that is eating continuously throughout the day. So if you want to lose weight, eliminate snacking and definitely reduce the number of times you eat per day. Optimally, aim for eating twice a day on the maximum. So eat a later breakfast and an earlier supper. Because the next pitfall can be eating late in the evening or at night, or getting up in the night to take a snack. This remember that if you are eating and then going to bed, the energy that you take in from that food is simply going to be stored as fat. So avoid late night eating, avoid snacking, and of course, avoid carbohydrate-rich foods which do not have fiber incorporated in it. In other words, avoid refined carbohydrates. Then the supplements that we are going to recommend will support you in making sure that as you reduce the amount of food you are taking in, you are getting the nutrients that your body still requires. At the same time, so that will be Pro-Vitality, which is our general baseline optimum supplement. Then we also recommend Amitone, which helps you not to lose muscles. I think I did not explain this well the last time. So let me just mention that Amitone is useful, not because it magically makes you lose weight, but because it ensures that you do not lose muscles. And the reason we don't want to lose muscles is because muscles, of course, help us to be strong, do other things. But at the same, what we want to lose is the extra stored fat, not our muscular tissue. So Amitone helps with that. And then, of course, we'll also recommend Neolife Tea, which the ingredients of Neolife Tea helps in boosting our metabolism. But make sure that when you're taking Neolife Tea, no adding sugar or artificial sweeteners. So Pro-Vitality, Amitone, Neolife Tea, and then ensure that you are getting enough movement and exercise in your lifestyle. Then look at those points where it is that you are maybe having pitfalls that is causing the weight. But remember, it could just be that over time, especially if you're, for example, in my stage in life, you may find that you are no longer, your body is no longer tolerant of large amounts of carbohydrates. If you are still a young person and you are a sports person and you are very active, then carbohydrates are a good fuel. But as you get older, or maybe if your occupation does not involve a lot of movement, then you do need much less carbohydrate in your diet. So opt for better quality, minimally processed carbohydrates. And then those other points that I've said: reduce the number of times you eat per day, eliminate snacks, and see how you can slowly start reducing your portion sizes. Don't do it drastically, because our bodies tend to overreact if we do something drastically, because some people may decide to just jump in and reduce the amount of food they eat very drastically. And of course, eventually you get so hungry that you do go to the opposite extreme of eating a lot more than is necessary for fueling and upkeep of your body. Then the next question was what to recommend for bipolar mood disorder. So here again is this disorder is linked to poor nutrition. So the first lifestyle recommendation will include eliminate sugar, avoid junk food and fast food, and opt for good quality carbohydrates that are minimally processed. Ensure that you get good sleep as well as rest. Remember, sleep and rest are not the same thing, and we need both. For example, to get enough rest, you may need to say no to certain activities. Maybe your social activities may need to be more restful so that you get enough rest. A healthy diet also is going to help to tone down the mood swings that are involved in bipolar disorder. Then supplements are definitely going to help. Our first recommendation will be omega-3 plus. And another thing I want to just mention, because I often get this question, is Tri-NN is always a recommendation, because remember, Tri-NN is our cellular nutrition supplement, which makes us able to benefit from all the other things that we do, whether it is supplements or in our diet. So remember, when I don't mention Tri-NN, it's because Tri-NN is a default supplement that all of us should be taking. So then we go on to for bipolar mood disorder, omega-3 plus, mind enhancement formula, vitamin B complex, And if the person is not getting enough sun exposure, then you can add vitamin A plus D. Remember that by exposing ourselves to the sun for about 30 minutes to 1 hour every day, our skin is able to manufacture vitamin D for itself. That is, of course, if you live in a place where there is enough sunshine. Remember, if you have a darker complexion, such as myself, then you need to get more or stronger sun exposure. If you're not able to, then it might be important to supplement with vitamin A plus D, especially in the colder months when the sun is not often out. Or if your occupation makes it not possible for you to spend enough time in the sun. Then the next question was for someone asking what supplement will support them in quitting smoking, and also alternative ways of dealing with stress, because a lot of time people continue smoking because it's their way of coping with stress. So here, the lifestyle points that we'll have will be: deliberately relax your body by using breathing techniques. You remember last week, if you are with us, I did mention this. So there are many clips that will show you different breathing techniques that help in relaxation. So the moment you're aware that you're getting tense and stressed, take a deliberate few moments to deliberately relax your body and do some breathing techniques. And then also you can include regular exercise daily in your lifestyle. The exercise has two important contributions. It helps to dissipate the stress of hormones from your system. And also it helps with, the body will produce hormones that help you to relax. So that regular exercise, it does not have to be very vigorous. It can be things like walking. It can be maybe jogging. It can be dancing and things like that, which you enjoy. And that way you will dissipate the stress hormones. And also, you can also try to locate what your stressor is, and then choose your response. Sometimes we may just generally feel stressed, but we don't take the time to think, what exactly is making me feel agitated? If you take a little time to locate the stressor, you may find that you're able to do something about it. Or if you're not able to do something about it, it may be possible to remove yourself from there. But taking that moment helps you to choose how to respond. Instead of automatically going to the coping mechanism of lighting up a cigarette, maybe you can take a stroll around the place where you're at. Or, as I said, you can take a moment to do some breathing work so that you dissipate that tension that is building up. And the supplements that we recommend: vitamin C is important. Vitamin B, or B complex, also important, because people who smoke tend to have deficiency in these two vitamins, since the body will be using all the available of these vitamins to deal with the effects of smoking on your system. Then you can add their Formula 4 or Formula 4 Plus. And then you also will need to add Beta-Guard to help with detoxing your body from the intake of nicotine over the time that you've been smoking. Then, of course, do not be discouraged if from time to time you find you go back to smoking. Keep on starting again if you find that you've fallen back into the old habit. Don't give up. Simply pick yourself up and keep on trying. The longer you are able to keep on trying, the more you improve your chances of success. So don't give up if, let's say, after trying for a day or two, you find that you've fallen back or you are not able to cope. Just keep on understanding that you are on your process to quitting. It may not happen as quickly or as immediately as you would like, but such is the way with many things that are in our lives. We don't get results as quickly as we want. A lot of results come from trying and trying and trying again, in spite of setbacks. Then another question, someone wanted to know whether the condition called Bell's palsy is caused by smoking. Bell's palsy is a condition where you get paralysis of the face, and it might cause the eyes, maybe the eyes or a side of your face to droop. So this is not exactly caused by smoking, but smoking might contribute. It is more linked to viral infection. It could be a respiratory infection from viruses, but the exact cause is not known. It does resolve itself in a space of 3 to 6 months, and supplements as well as gently massaging your face can also help to ease the tension and on the muscles as a result of the paralyzed nerves. So the supplements we'll recommend will be chelated zinc, vitamin C, and vitamin B complex. And as I said, gently massaging your face will also help. But I have not found anywhere where it says that smoking directly causes Bell's palsy. But as I said, when you consider the toxins that are in smoking, you never know how they can contribute if you also have a viral infection at the same time. Then another question was what to recommend for arthritis. Again, we have different types of arthritis. You have osteoarthritis, which is a common one, but there's also the rheumatoid arthritis, which is linked to autoimmune issues. And gout is also a form of arthritis. So I will just quickly speak about the two types, osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. So osteoarthritis can be due to age or old injuries that come back, that maybe the joint did not set well, and so over time it was getting inflamed and damaged. And also osteoarthritis can be familial. If you have, maybe you notice older people in your family tend to have arthritis, then it can be a cautionary for you. So the lifestyle points for this will be avoid trigger foods. Some people find that foods make their attacks worse. For some, it might be nightshade plants like tomatoes, brinjal, sort of eggplants, and some of that Irish potatoes. These are called nightshade plants. They are in the same group family of plants, and some people don't tolerate them well. It makes the inflammation that is linked to arthritis worse. For some people, it might be taking in wheat. So, and for some people, it might even be dairy and so on. So try to be observant what makes the issue worse. Then also it's recommended that although this arthritis is a joint problem, joints require movement and they heal in movement. So try to remain active. So move the affected joints gently. It does not mean that we have to go very heavy on it, but try to keep on moving. Don't completely stop it from moving, because the joint does need to move. Then get good sun exposure to improve calcium absorption through vitamin D. Remember, vitamin D, which is a hormone, supports good calcium absorption. If this is not possible, then of course you need to supplement with vitamin A plus D. Then opt for foods that support joint health. There'll be foods like egg yolk, leafy greens, fermented foods, and healthy fats. All these support joint health. Then the supplements we'll recommend will be full motion, which helps the body to repair the cartilage that is damaged as a result of the arthritis. We also recommend Pro Vitality, and we recommend Calmag. If you're not able to buy the entire Pro Vitality, then we definitely put the Trianend and omega-3 plus. Then rheumatoid arthritis, as I said, is another form of arthritis, which tends to be accompanied by swelling and lack of mobility in the joints. And this is because the immune system will be attacking joint tissue. And it's linked to systemic inflammation. So support your immune system by reducing your toxin load and also improving your gut health. That is, eliminate problem foods from your diet. If your body reacts adversely to a certain food, stop eating it, opt for something else. And because remember that if your gut is struggling, then the issues will also appear in other places. And autoimmune conditions are often linked to problems with the gut. So also avoid triggers where possible. If you observe that something makes the attacks of rheumatoid arthritis more severe or more frequent, then eliminate that. This might take some time for you to observe. Then the supplements we'll recommend will once again be full motion, pro vitality, multimineral alfalfa, and vitamin B complex. Next question was what to recommend for recurrent or chronic bronchitis. So that is infection of the upper part of the air passages. And do try it, first of all, to determine what is causing reinfection, if it is a reinfection or a recurrence. Also reduce and avoid problematic foods. So for some people, it might be dairy, others it might be wheat. And then ensure good air circulation where you are as much as possible. Avoid being in a place where there is smoke or smokers. Because if you have already struggling with this, then that will only make it worse. So try to get good air circulation and avoid secondhand smoke. Definitely, if you're a smoker, then you quickly will understand that you need to quit the habit. Then the supplements that will help with this will be, oh, sorry, I didn't mention that you may also need to discuss with your doctor if when you see them, that let them know that you are having a recurrent infection, and they may be able to put their finger on what is behind the recurrence. It could be that your immune system has been weakened by something or another, or it could be that maybe you need different antibiotics to get rid of the whatever is infecting your respiratory tract. Then the supplements we recommend will be flavonoid complex. We also recommend herbal respiratory complex, omega-3 plus, and vitamin A plus D or good sun exposure. Also, if this infection carries on, you may also want to add garlic allium complex, which is a good supplement to help in fighting infections which keep on recurring. Okay, then the next question was, what supplements can we recommend to prevent sickle cell anemia crisis? Unfortunately, there is no supplement that can prevent sickle cell anemia crisis because it is in the nature of the red blood cells of people with sickle cell anemia to clamp up under different conditions. It could be stress, it could be an infection, and so on. So the best we can do is to reduce the frequency of the crisis and also the severity, and to support recovery. So for that, we recommend chelated zinc. So this will be ongoing supplements: chelated zinc, flavonoid complex, pro vitality, and vitamin B complex. So these should be staple supplements for someone who is living with sickle cell anemia. Unfortunately, we cannot prevent the crisis, and as far as we have reached now, we don't yet have any medication that can completely prevent the crisis, but we can reduce the frequency, and also we can support recovery after crisis. Then another question was which supplements do we have that contain calcium? And this will be CalMag, of course, that contain our main calcium supplement. Also, there will be calcium in multimineral, and there will be small amounts of calcium also in Neolife Shake and Formula 4 for the Formula 4 supplements. Then another question was what to take for reproductive hormone imbalance. So be aware that some illnesses and some medication can cause hormone imbalances. And the lifestyle points here will be follow a healthy diet with a minimum of processed carbohydrates, and rather opt for healthy fats. And then incorporate activity and exercise in your daily routine, and minimize toxin load, because remember that toxins often cause a lot of upheaval in our systems. There are certain toxins in our environment. So, for example, coming from plastics or coming from the many things that are discarded in our water systems now, which can upset our hormone balances. So for this, our Neolife supplements that we recommend will be Herbal Feminine Complex. So the question was from a woman. So Herbal Feminine Complex, Pro Vitality, Multimineral Alfalfa, and vitamin A plus D, or if you are not getting adequate sun exposure. In the case that it may be a man, then we recommend Pro Vitality, Herbal Masculine Complex, chelated zinc, and again, vitamin A plus D. Next question was what to recommend. I think this came from last week's session. So what to recommend for stress, which is causing cardiovascular issues. So remember we spoke about this. So the lifestyle points for this will be get regular aerobic exercise to energize and exercise the heart, and at the same time to help to dissipate stress hormones. So regular exercise is good. Aerobic exercise is good for the heart. And then also eliminate processed carbohydrates and junk food from the diet to reduce inflammation. Then also opt for healthy fats and plenty of vegetables, as well as good proteins as a foundation to your diet. Then the supplements we'll recommend will be Pro Vitality or at least omega-3 plus. We also recommend lipotropic adjunct, garlic allium complex, and if you have heart issues, then coenzyme Q10 also help with the heart function. So Pro Vitality, lipotropic adjunct, garlic allium, and coenzyme Q10. Next question was still related to stress, which is reducing immunity so that the person is finding that the immune system is weakened. So here the lifestyle points will be avoid and minimize chemicals and toxins in your diet. So for example, foods which have got chemical additives and other sources of toxins, maybe from your home care products or your grooming products and so on. Include fermented foods from your culture in your diet. These help with the friendly microbes in the gut, and then also ensure that you have enough fiber in your diet, because remember, fiber helps the gut microbes, the friendly gut microbes, to thrive. For the supplements, we will recommend Pro Vitality, we recommend Neolife Shake, and if you're not taking adequate fiber in your diet, then maybe you can supplement with fiber tablets. And for stress in general, Aloe Vera Plus is also a useful supplement to take. It helps with relaxing and also relaxes the guts and gut issues, and helps also with sleep. Then someone wanted to know what to recommend for high blood pressure. So the lifestyle points will be incorporate exercise and movement in your lifestyle, eliminate sugar and starchy foods, processed foods, and seed fats from your diet. Then resolve any stressors you may have. I think we spoke about this in previous questions as well as last week's session. Get good sun exposure. Maybe when you're exercising, you can try to exercise outdoors where you can also get some sun exposure. Then the supplements for high blood pressure will be lipotropic adjunct, omega-3 plus, garlic allium complex, and magnesium complex. Okay, then a question about sluggish colon and also a tendency to constipation and stomach upsets. So a sluggish colon often will lead to issues like constipation, and constipation will lead to what is called ototoxicity. That is when the toxins are accumulating because of stools which are not being passed regularly. Then we can also have impacted stools which have become harder and harder to pass, and issues like hemorrhoids and a blocked blockage in the gut can also come about. So the lifestyle points will be make sure that there is enough dietary fiber in your diet. Also do rebounding exercises, for example, jumping on a trampoline. Make sure you are adequately hydrated and take enough water. And then, but of course, remember that water is not something you can force yourself to drink. Just make sure that you drink as much water as I say. If you're thirsty, definitely drink. If you find you are never thirsty, do ensure that you are taking at least some amount of water every day. And then the supplements we recommend will be fiber tablets, aloe vera plus, and from time to time, you may need to take stage 6 to help with the passing of the stools. But remember, the lifestyle points are also quite important with this. You may, if you struggle to eat, let's say, raw vegetables, then opt for cooked vegetables. If you have never liked vegetables, then start slowly with small amounts and increase as time goes by. And meanwhile, you can supplement with fiber tablets as your digestive system becomes used to more and more fiber. If you're not used to taking fiber, of course, sometimes you can have problems like bloating or discomfort. So don't go for heavy duty fibers like beans and so on initially until you are better able to tolerate fiber in your diet. Better to start with cooked leafy vegetables and things like that, which are more easy to digest. The next question was someone wanted to know what to do if they find when they open their container of supplements that something is wrong with it. Maybe it's off, or maybe some of the capsules are opened or stuck together or some problems. My recommendation there is to, as soon as possible, return the container with your invoice to your distributor service center and let them know what the issue is and discuss it with them, how they can help you. Then I think my last question for today will be, is it recommended that someone who has already undergone treatment for cancer but is having ongoing hormone therapy to take some supplements? And my answer there would be yes, because I think many of us have already observed that quite a number of these cancers do tend to seem to go away and then they recur in future. So for that reason, I think that it would be a good thing to continue good lifestyle points and also your nutritional points in the long term, because we want to make sure that the remission is lifelong. So the supplements we would recommend there would be, of course, after you finish your chemotherapy and so on, then we recommend Beta-Guard to help with the detoxing. But on an ongoing basis, you can include Phytodefense, omega-3 plus, and coenzyme Q10. This will help you to recover from the effects of the medication, as well as to help your cells to rebound after the hardship of cancer treatments. So Phytodefense, omega-3 plus, and coenzyme Q10. If you have undergone chemotherapy, then once you have finished the courses of treatment, do take on Beta-Guard to help with the detox. All right, so I think that for now I'll stop. We'll of course have another Q&A in a week or a fortnight, depending on the volume of questions. And for now, I want to thank you very much for having taken the time and the data to spend your time with us this evening. I hope that we tackled your question or questions of interest to you. Just in case your question was not included, of course, we shall be able to do it in the next Q&A session. So for now, thank you very much, and I wish you all the best as we are moving towards the tail end of the month of October and indeed the year of 2025. For now, Pascal is here right beside me, ready to take you through the next part of today's session. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. That was a ton of questions answered. I've seen in the chat there are still very many questions. I think we'll probably handle them in 2 weeks' time. So today I want to talk to you about something that that helps our business to grow. What is the goal of our business? The goal of very simple: to move products from Neolife to different consumers. That is really what we do in this business. So let's look at retailing product. That means that we want to create a customer base or people who buy products from us on a regular basis to do at least 100, 200, 250, 300, 400 PV. Very important things about retailing products. One is create the habit of listening to people or your customers. What does that do? It helps you become aware of the people who may need our products. So that's the first thing, listening to customers' needs. The second thing is product knowledge. Product knowledge simply means that you take time to learn what our products actually do or how our products help our customers. For example, the last 35 minutes you've been listening to Betty. Any session, take a pen, paper, write notes so that you familiarize yourself with what the products do. And then the third thing is build good customer relations. Why is it important to have good customer relationships? Because when the customer wants to spend money and you have a good relationship with them, the first person they will think about is you. So the three things that are important for retailing products: listening to your customers' needs, product knowledge, and building good relationship with your customer. Just to give an example of some of the products that you can recommend to your customers. For example, home care products. What are the most essential home care products that everybody should have? LDC, dishwashing, general. You can use it to clean the bathroom, the kitchen, anything in your home that requires cleaning. LDC should be at the top of your list. Sometimes you may have heavy duty cleaning that you need in the home. For example, your carpet is stained, or your cooker has not been cleaned the oven of your cooker hasn't been cleaned for a long time, or the bathtub for a long time. You need Super 10. Then disinfectant, you need Care Solution. Care Solution normally lasts 6 months minimum, because Care Solution is mixed 1 to 50 with water. That is the cleaning side of products. Of course, there is also the G1. If you need to clean wash your clothes, G1 makes a very big difference in your cleaning. It helps the clothes also last longer. And then diabetes. If you have a customer with diabetes, 3NN Botanical Balance. If you have a customer with high blood pressure, omega-3 plus, garlic allium complex, lipotropic agent. If you have a customer with ulcers, aloe vera plus, chelated zinc. If you have a customer with arthritis, whether it's osteoarthritis or rheumatoid, CalMag, full motion, omega-3. A customer with prostate challenges, cruciferous plus. So these are just indications of the products you need to recommend to people with certain needs. Now let's go to a bit more detail about retailing products. First, product knowledge. Why is product knowledge very important? Because it gives you a chance to recommend the product. Let me give you an example. A friend of yours, or your sister, your brother, your uncle comes to visit you, and when people are ill, they will tell you how they are feeling. Your auntie tells you that, my knee has been giving me a lot of problems for a long time. I've gone to doctors, I've been given medicine, and they don't seem to help at all. I don't know what I'm going to do. Before you jump and recommend specific products, ask more questions. How long has this been? which medicines are you taking? How is your life working upstairs? You see, the reason why you need to listen to your customers so that you can have a very good overview of their health situation. When you are sure that you know exactly what the customer is going through, then you can recommend. By the way, I think if you have from what you're explaining to me, it looks like you have osteoarthritis. That is arthritis that results from wear and tear of the joints. It's bone related. And for osteoarthritis, I would recommend for you to use 3 products. One is called Full Motion. Full Motion helps to rebuild the cartilages in the joints. You need omega-3, which is helps to reduce inflammation. Then you can also use CalMag. Those are the products I would recommend. So what you are doing is you're linking our products and the needs the customer has. So product knowledge and then listening to your customers. This helps you to recommend the product. You will notice that we don't go door-to-door selling of the products. We retail our products by listening to customers and advising them on the product that are best helps their need. Once the customer has bought products, a very good thing for you to do is a week later, you need to keep in touch with the customer. For example, if the customer I'm talking about has got arthritis, you call them a week later, so-and-so, you started using CalMag or Full Motion. How is it going? They will tell you what they're feeling. I remember we sold to a customer Full Motion. She lives about 5-6 kilometers from here. And I think we delivered the products on a Wednesday. By Friday, she sent a message that, look, already I'm feeling much better in my joints. Keep in touch with your customers. And the reason you need to do that is that the customer begins to know that you care about them. You don't just want to sell products and forget about them, that you care about them. So keep in touch with your customer. Then the 4th element is get to know your customers. Find out their birthday, find out their family issues, their anniversaries. Why are these small things important? These small things are important because remember the nature of our business. We deal person to person. And when a customer knows that you actually treat them well, they're likely to come back and buy more products from you. The next part of retailing products is customer support. What is customer support? Customer support simply means that in the long term, your customer will become a circle of your friends. Very important, enthusiasm and kindness. This may appear as if it's not something useful, but when your customer knows that you're excited about them, that you care about what they are going through, you show them kindness, delivering the products, finding out how they are doing, giving them a phone call once a while, you begin to form a good relationship with your customer. Ask questions and listen. The best way to find out something about a customer is listening and asking questions. Ask open-ended questions, not closed questions. A closed question is, are you feeling better? That question can be answered with yes or no. But if you ask a question like, Jen, you bought the products last week. How are you feeling today? The customer is likely to explain what they are feeling and going through. Okay, so ask open-ended questions. Then have a very simple record-keeping system. That means write the customer's name, their phone number, the product that they bought, and the date they bought it. That will give you an indication on when you think they're going to need the next supply of products. Very simple record-keeping system. And the more you speak with your customer, the more information you find about them, Then, for example, once you get to know your customer, find out their birth date, find out the things that are important to them, record it in your document, either a laptop or a notebook, whatever it is, so that you actually know your customer. A very important thing is literature. Where literature flows, products follow. Where literature flows, products follow. For example, if a customer has bought omega-3, give them literature about a different product than the one they have bought. Why? They may become curious to find out more about the different products we have in our range. Okay? So have literature available that you can give to your customers. Smile. This may appear as very obvious. Why? Because everybody needs a smile once a while. Just try this tomorrow. When you're walking in the street, or you're walking in the street or going to a shop or the bank, just try and smile at a stranger and see what happens. The reaction is instant. They will likely to smile back at you. They'll be curious to know why you're smiling, and that will give you an opportunity to start a conversation. So smile more. Then use your customer's name often. Why? So that you can remember it. It's very embarrassing when you've sold a product to a customer and you're trying to remember, what is this customer's name? And the best way to remember their name is to use their name often. The more you use their name, the more familiar you become with them, and the more they're likely to remember the service that you provided for them. So these are simple things that will help you develop good customer relationships. The next thing I want to share with you is the power of your story. I deliberately called it the power of your story. Why? Everybody has a story. Everybody follows a specific story in their life. And everybody's story is very unique, is very different. So learn to share your story. Okay? So everybody has a story. One of the things that really causes us to grow our business is when we learn to tell our stories to people. I would like all of you to do this. Okay, somebody is drawing something very exciting on the screen. Let me just correct that. Today, we are about 244 people attending this meeting. Okay. If each of you, 244 people, if you share your story with 5 people next week, that's more than 1,000 stories told next week. Try. I want to give all of you a challenge. Today is Thursday. Between now and next week, Thursday, share your stories at least with one person every day about what Neolife has done for you or the experience of God. Okay? So first, craft your story and practice telling your story. If you don't have an audience, I'm sure you live with your family members. If you're married, you live with your spouse, or you have your children. Craft a story and start telling your family your story. Practice on them. You will be surprised at how it will be. Telling your story has got 4 elements, essentially. Number 1, the background before joining Neolife. What was happening in your life? How was your life like before you joined Neolife? Number 2, how you came to join Neolife. What happens that you actually joined Neolife? Number 3, what benefits have you got in Neolife, either the business side or the product side? Okay? Okay, this is misspelled, not products. Okay? What have you benefited? Number 4, how does the future look like in Neolife? Those are the 4 basic things. In fact, if you practice this, it will take you not more than 4 minutes to tell your story. So the challenge next week is this: find 2 audiences, maybe per day or once a day, and share your story. It takes 5 minutes to tell your story. But there are other things that will make your story have a lasting impression on your hearers or the people who are hearing your story. One of them is enthusiasm. Tell your story with a lot of enthusiasm. And that comes from your heart. Okay? And then there are three things that enhances the power of your story. Okay, I've used some Latin words: ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos is simply a moral character. The better your moral character is, the more powerful your story becomes. Number two is logos. This simply means a logical explanation of what you are saying. It has to find a logical sequence. And number three, the ability to touch people's feelings. Why is that? People will remember you when, according to how your story made them feel. What I have noticed, if you go to some of the really big functions of Neolife, excuse me, the thing that really captures people's attention is how they felt when they listened to your story. I'll give you an example of our own story. Betty and I came to South Africa in 1995. And the reason we came to South Africa is to look for a better life. South Africa had just become independent. I came to study and also to look for a job. But after working for about a year, we realized that a salary is never going to be enough. When we came to South Africa, we had our third born was 8 days old. But you see, as a family is growing, the needs of the family also increase. Children start going to school, and we thought we needed to do something to get additional income. Secondly, Betty could not get a job because she didn't have a work permit. So one day a friend of hers, Betty looked for a job in all the English-speaking schools in Pretoria, but she couldn't get a job. She couldn't, not even a response. Then one day she said, I've looked for a job long enough. Let the job come and find me at home. 2 weeks later, a friend of hers called Betty and said, Betty, I know you have a sick child that you need to take care of, but there's a business that I'd like you to have a look at that you can start from your home without having an office. You don't need a work permit. So Betty said, I don't know, I've never run a business. I said, but just come for the meeting. So one Thursday, Betty went for a meeting. I stayed at home to look after the children. She came back. She was very excited. She said that it is something you can do, but she doesn't understand the numbers very well. And the speaker that night was Hansi Cronje. So I also went for another meeting. She stayed. And when I came back, the whole number system made sense to me. It took us 2 days to decide. We signed up the form. And remember, our first check in the business was $3. I was very excited about it because it showed us that this business actually works. After 7 months of very hard work doing the business part-time, our income reached $1,000. That's when everything changed for us. I decided I was going to commit my future to the business. I remember when we started, I was very excited about this business. For the past 3 days after I saw what the business could do, I didn't sleep. I kept on remembering names. I would wake up Betty in the middle of the night and say, I've remembered so-and-so, write them on my list. And we kept talking to people. After 7 months, we equaled our income. It took us another 5 months to become Sapphire director, then one Ruby. And that's how the business grew very quickly for us. Some of the benefits we've got, apart from the income, is a health benefit. A lot of you know that our second born has got sickle cell. And because of the products, he was able to go finish school, finish university. He's now working with Absa Bank because of the product. Is it cured? No, but the products helped to manage his situation. One of the highlights of this business is the year 2000, when Neolife had the convention, the World Convention African Convention in the Sun City. Sun City is about 160 kilometers from Pretoria. And because we paid for our children, the company paid for Betty and myself. We drove from here. We got to Sun City. When we got into the gate, they asked us to get out of the car. They took the keys, went and parked the car. They brought our luggage. We signed in. They gave us some cards, plastic cards that we used to open the door. We went, opened the door, and when we opened the door, the TV came on and said, "Welcome, the OLOO family." Our second born Felix looked around and said, "Mommy, this is life." There are incredible amount of stories that we share with you about what the business has done for you or for us. But for us, the future looks so bright, we need sunglasses. Africa has got the youngest population of all the continents. 60% of Africa's population is between 15 and 35. What does that mean? That the future of business is in Africa. And we want to take full advantage of this business and get other people to join the business. That is what our story is. Craft your story. It's a very powerful tool for getting people to, in fact, sometimes just telling your stories alone, even before somebody understands what the business is about, people join the business. I had a similar experience in Lesotho where we went and explained the business, and one of my friends says, "Pascal, I don't understand what you've said, but I'm going to join this thing because I see that you're very enthusiastic about it." So telling your story is one of the most powerful tools you're going to use to grow your business and get your business running very fast. So craft your story, practice it with your family, and the more you share your story with your people, with your team, the faster your business will grow. And if you keep doing that, if you keep sharing your story, you will find some of the people who are looking for this business, and those people are the ones who will cause your business to grow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for spending the time with Betty and myself. I hope some of the things we have shared with you will help you grow your business to the next level. Good night and God bless.